Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Thanks so much for being here. Oh boy. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna make it through the holidays. We are almost there. The end is in sight. Hell, for everyone outside of America, the end is already pretty much here. We will make it. Alright. Nah, it's been a pretty good day. Anyways, let's pop on in. Audio seems to be good. Christmas spirit levels are optimal. All Christmas cheer systems nominal. So let's begin. Awe Amaki! My name is Faustus Marius Incitatus, the true consul of Rome, the favorite horse of the god Emperor Caligula. Merry Christmas to all of you. Thanks so much for joining me. It means a lot. It means a whole lot that you could join me today, or hell, if you're watching the VOD, thanks for picking it up later. I know Christmas is a busy time for everyone, so means the world that you're watching with me, and yeah. Okay, enough of the sappy shit. Although we're going to get right back into the sappy shit when I start reading Christmas stories, because that is what today's stream is about. We're going to be reading some Christmas stories, comfy, cozy, by the fire, and then I'm going to finish up Cthulhu Saves Christmas. I think I have less than an hour left in that game, unless it throws like a major curveball. But yeah, so it should be a nice, comfy stream. I think I picked out a few stories. There's a bit of a historical element as well, because I am the history horse, but I don't want to spoil too much. So I think let's hop right in. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. Mine was okay. Mine was pretty okay. Went and got to see some of the family, got some nice gifts, a lot of very practical gifts, which is what I'm usually after, you know. The sentimental gifts are okay. They're okay, in moderation. But yeah, give me the practical gifts. Got a nice wad of cash from my parents, which that is the best gift of all. Is money, in my opinion. I don't know why we have such a hang-up about, oh, it needs to be a thoughtful gift, I can't give someone money. No, fucking no. Money is probably infinitely more useful to a lot of people than any gift you could give them. And giving that, putting your pride away, and actually giving someone money for Christmas, if they need it, I think is a fantastic way to show you care. So, yeah, I don't get our hang up with, oh no, it needs to be a gift, it can't just be money. Like, seriously. Do a gift card if you want to maybe show like a little thought, like, hey, I know you like the store or whatever. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't see the hang up with just giving people money on Christmas. Anyways, enough of me complaining about our gift-giving customs. Let's read some stories. I've picked out 3 stories and a few letters is what we're going to be reading. So they're very different stories. They're written by very, very different authors. But I think they all kind of have a common theme. So let's go ahead and hop right in. I think we will pull up story time. Yeah, all right. Oh, shit. Forgot to hide that. Okay, spoiler alert. Yeah. First one we're reading is Gift of the Magi by O. Henry, it's one of my favorites. My grandpa actually gave me like a very old book of O. Henry stories that I think was probably published right around the time like The Gift of the Magi actually came out. Very, very old book. I liked it a lot. I've got a thing for old books. So, yeah. So this is a classic, probably needs no introduction. None of these really need too much introduction. Well, one of them maybe. But this story and the next one I'm reading really need no introduction. So with that said, I think we should hop right in, huh? All right. So, The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. $1.87. That was all. She had put it aside, 1 cent and then another, in her careful buying of meat and other food. Della counted it 3 times, $1.87, and the next day would be Christmas. There was nothing to do but fall on the bed and cry, so Della did it. While the lady of the home is slowly growing quieter, we can look at the home. Furnished rooms cost $8 a week. There's little more to say about it. In the hall below was a letterbox too small to hold a letter. There was an electric bell, but it could not make a sound. Also, there was a name beside the door, Mr. James Dillingham Young. When the name was placed there, Mr. James Dillingham Young was being paid $30 a week. Now when he was paid only $20 a week, the name seemed too long and important. It should perhaps have been Mr. James D. Young, but when Mr. James Dillingham Young entered the furnished rooms, his name became very short indeed. Mrs. James Dillingham Young put her arms warmly about him and called him Jim. You've already met her. She's Della. Della finished her crying and cleaned the marks of it from her face. She stood by the window and looked out with no interest. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day, and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a gift. She'd put aside as much as she could for months, with this result. $20 a week is not much. Everything had cost more than she expected. It always happened like that. Only $1.87 to buy a gift for Jim. Her Jim. She had had many happy hours planning something nice for him, something nearly good enough, something almost worth the honor of belonging to Jim. There was a looking-glass between the windows of the room. Perhaps you've seen the kind of looking-glass that's placed in $8 furnished rooms. It was very narrow. A person could only see a little of himself at a time. However, if he was very thin and moved very quickly, he might be able to get a good view of himself. Della, being quite thin, had mastered this art. Suddenly, she turned from the window and stood before the glass. Her eyes were shining brightly, but her face had lost its color. Quickly, she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its complete length. The James Dillingham Youngs were very proud of 2 things which they owned. One thing was Jim's gold watch. It had belonged to his father, and long ago it had belonged to his father's father. The other thing was Della's hair. If a queen had lived in the rooms near theirs, Della would have washed and dried her hair near where the queen could see it. Della knew her hair was more beautiful than any queen's jewels and gifts. If a king lived in the same house with all his riches, Jim would have looked at his watch every time they met. Jim knew that no king had anything so valuable. So now Della's beautiful hair fell about her, shining like a falling stream of brown water. It reached below her knee. It almost made itself into a dress for her. And then she put it up on her head again, nervously and quickly. Once she stopped for a moment and stood still while a tear or two ran down her face. She put on her old brown coat. She put on her old brown hat. With the bright light still in her eyes, she moved quickly out the door and down to the street. Where she stopped, the sign said, Mrs. Sofronie, hair articles of all kinds. Up to the 2nd floor Della ran and stopped to get her breath. Mrs. Sofronie, large, too white, cold-eyed, looked at her. "Will you buy my hair?" asked Della. "I buy hair," said Mrs. Sofronie. "Take off your hat and let me look at it." Down fell the brown waterfall. $20, said Mrs. Sofronie, lifting the hair to feel its weight. "Give it to me quick," said Della. Oh, and the next 2 hours seemed to fly. She was going from one shop to another to find a gift for Jim. She found it at last. It surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the shops, and she had looked in every shop in the city. It was a gold watch chain, very simply made. Its value was in its rich and pure material. Because it was so plain and simple, you knew that it was very valuable. All good things are like this. It was good enough for the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that Jim must have it. It was like him. Quietness and value. Jim and the chain both had quietness and value. She paid $21 for it, and she hurried home with the chain and 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim could look at his watch and learn the time anywhere he might be. Though the watch was so fine it had never had a fine chain, he sometimes took it out and looked at it only when no one else could see him do it. When Della arrived home, her mind quieted a little. She began to think more reasonably. She started to try to cover the sad marks of what she had done. Love and large-hearted giving, when added together, can leave deep marks. It's never easy to cover these marks, dear friends, never easy. Within 40 minutes, her head looked a little better. With her short hair, she looked wonderfully like a schoolboy. She stood at the looking-glass for a long time. "If Jim doesn't kill me," she said to herself, "before he looks at me a second time, he'll say I look like a girl who sings and dances for money. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? At 7, Jim's dinner was ready for him. Jim was never late. Della held the watch chain in her hand and sat near the door where he always entered. Then she heard his step in the hall, and her face lost color for a moment. She often said little prayers quietly about simple everyday things, and now she said, "Please, God, make him think I'm still pretty." The door opened, and Jim stepped in. He looked very thin, and he was not smiling. Poor fellow, he was only 22, and with a family to take care of. He needed a new coat, and he had nothing to cover his cold hands. Jim stopped inside the door. He was as quiet as a hunting dog when it's near a bird. His eyes looked strangely at Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not understand. It filled her with fear. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor anything she had been ready for. He simply looked at her with that strange expression on his face. Della went to him. "Jim, dear," she cried, "don't look at me like that. I had my hair cut off and sold it. I couldn't live through Christmas without giving you a gift. My hair will grow again. You won't care, will you? My hair grows very fast. It's Christmas, Jim. Let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I got for you." "You cut off your hair?" asked Jim slowly. He seemed to labor to understand what had happened. He seemed not to feel sure he knew. "Cut it off and sold it," said Della. "Don't you like me now? I'm me, Jim. I'm the same without my hair." Jim looked around the room. "You say your hair is gone?" he said. "You don't have to look for it," said Della. "It's sold, I tell you. Sold and gone, too. It's the night before Christmas, boy. Be good to me, because I sold it for you. Maybe the hairs of my head could be counted," she said, "but no one could ever count my love for you. Shall we eat dinner, Jim?" Jim put his arms around his Della. For 10 seconds, let us look in another direction. $8 a week or $1,000,000 a year. How different are they? Someone may give you an answer, but it will be wrong. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. My meaning will be explained soon. From inside the coat, Jim took something tied in paper. He threw it upon the table. "I want you to understand me, Dell," he said. "Nothing like a haircut could make me love you any less. But if you'll open that, you may know what I felt when I came in." White fingers pulled off the paper, and then a cry of joy, and then it changed to tears. For there lay the combs. The combs that Della had seen in a shop window and loved for a long time. Beautiful combs with jewels perfect for her beautiful hair. She had known they cost too much for her to buy them. She had looked at them without the least hope of owning them. And now they were hers, but her hair was gone. But she held them to her heart, and at last was able to look up and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." And then she jumped up and cried, "Oh, oh!" Jim had not yet seen his beautiful gift. She held it out to him in her open hand. The gold seemed to shine softly as if it were her own warm and loving spirit. "Isn't it perfect, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You'll have to look at your watch 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how they look together." Jim sat down and smiled. "Della," said he, let's put our Christmas gifts away and keep them a while. They're too nice to use now. I sold the watch to get the money to buy the combs, and now I think we should have our dinner." The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the newborn Christ child. They were the first to give Christmas gifts. Being wise, their gifts were doubtless wise ones. And here I've told you the story of 2 children who were not wise. Each sold the most valuable thing he owned in order to buy a gift for the other. But let me speak a last word to the wise of these days. Of all who give gifts, these 2 were the most wise. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are the most wise. Everywhere they are the wise ones. They are the Magi. The Gift of the Magi by O. Henry. That's one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites. Doesn't need a lot of introductions. I'm sure it's not the first time anyone has heard it, but yeah. Of all those who give gifts, they are the wise ones. I didn't think I would be so affected by reading that. Give me one moment. Just need some water. Nothing else. Okay. All right. Now for something completely different, but not really. Not really. It's the same general message, just in a very, very different form. I speak, of course, of the classic. Let's go. Come on, you can do it. Oh, for heaven's sake. Come on now. Are you serious? One moment. What do we think of the Gift of the Magi? Let's see. Image slideshow. Gotcha. Alright. Think I got it. Wonderful. Alright, so the next one. This one really needs no introduction. Yeah, next I'm going to be reading How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Just, doesn't get any better than that. But yeah, the Gift of the Magi. It always gets me. That's what gifts are truly about, you know. It's about knowing the other person. It's about caring for them. So hopefully you all received at least one gift like that this Christmas. Alright, so yeah, this is, I say it's something completely different, but, you know, I think the message is very similar. The message of all of these is pretty similar. So, that's the message of Christmas. Anyways, alright, so How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the 1957 classic by none other than Dr. Seuss. Alright. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But, whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town, for he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early, they'd rush for their toys. And then, oh the noise, noise! That's one thing he hated! The noise! Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast! They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast. And then, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least, and then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing. And the more the Grinch thought of the Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. For 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming, but how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked, what a great Grinchy trick! With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said. If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, then he took some red thread, then he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, "Giddy up," and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All the windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air, all the Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, "This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once, for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slittered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums. And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch very nimbly stiffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast. He cleaned out that icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here." And his fib fooled the child, and then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. "Pooh-pooh" to the Who's, he was grinchishly humming. "They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, 'Boo-hoo!' That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it just came the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch fleet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. I'm not sure I did that one justice, but God, that's fun. I practiced that a few times and still stumbled, of course. But, yeah. Oh, what a classic. The book and the animation from 1966. Those are the two acceptable ways to consume How the Grinch Stole Christmas, in my opinion. Yeah, the new Grinch stuff just doesn't stack up, you know? Just doesn't stack up. All right, so we have one more story to read, and then I have a few letters. So the next story is the one that maybe people haven't heard of. Gift of the Magi, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I believe, probably need no introductions. This one, however. This is called The Cobbler and His Guest. It's by Russian author Leo Tolstoy. It was first translated with a different name. It was this is actually Tolstoy chose this. This is a literal translation of the Russian name, The Cobbler and His Guest, but it's better known in English as Where Love Is, God Is Also. But I stuck with the Russian translation, you know. So this is The Cobbler and His Guest. It's from 1882 by Leo Tolstoy. And it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of the same theme. Everything has the same theme for these Christmas stories. But yeah, this one a little bit more overtly religious, but it's such a pretty story. Couldn't not do it. Anyways. The Cobbler and His Guest by Leo Tolstoy. There once lived in the city of Marseille an old shoemaker, loved and honored by his neighbors, who affectionately called him Father Martin. One Christmas Eve, as he sat alone in his little shop reading of the visit of the wise men to the infant Jesus, and of the gifts they brought, he said to himself, "If tomorrow were the first Christmas, and if this Jesus were to be born in Marseille this night, I know what I would give him." He rose from his stool, and he took from a shelf overhead 2 tiny shoes of softest snow-white leather, and bright silver buckles. "I would give him these, my finest work." Then he paused and reflected. "But I am a foolish old man," he continued. "The master has no need of my poor gifts." Replacing the shoes, he blew out the candle and retired to rest. Hardly had he closed his eyes, it seemed, when he heard a voice call his name. "Martin! Martin!" Intuitively he felt a presence. Then the voice spoke again. "Martin, you've wished to see me. Tomorrow I shall pass by your window. If you see me and bid me enter, I shall be your guest at your table." Father Martin did not sleep that night for joy, and before it was yet dawn he rose and swept and tidied up his little shop. He spread fresh sand upon the floor and wreathed green boughs of fir along the rafters. On the spotless linen-covered table he placed a loaf of white bread, a jar of honey, and a pitcher of milk. When all was in readiness, he took up his patient vigil at the window. Presently he saw an old street sweeper pass by, blowing upon his thin, gnarled hands to warm them. Poor fellow, he must be half frozen, thought Martin. Opening the door, he called out to him, "Come in, my friend, and warm yourself, and drink something hot." And the man gratefully accepted the invitation. An hour passed, and Martin saw a young, miserably clothed woman carrying a baby. She paused wearily to rest in the shelter of his doorway. The heart of the old cobbler was touched. Quickly he flung open the door. "Come in and warm while you rest," he said to her. "You do not look well," he remarked. "I'm going to the hospital. I hope they will take me in, and my baby boy," she explained. "My husband is at sea, and I am ill, without a soul." "Poor child," cried Father Martin. "You must eat something while you're getting warm. No? Then let me give a cup of milk to the little one. Ah, what a bright, pretty little fellow he is. Why, you've put no shoes on him." "I have no shoes for him," sighed the mother. Then he shall have this lovely pair I finished yesterday." And Father Martin took down from the shelf the soft little snow-white shoes he had admired the evening before. He slipped them on the child's feet. They fit perfectly. And shortly the poor young mother went on her way, 2 shoes in her hand and tearful with gratitude. And Father Martin resumed his post at the window. Hour after hour went by, and although many people passed his window, and although many people shared the hospitality of the old cobbler, the expected guest did not appear. "It was only a dream," he sighed with a heavy heart. "I did hope and believe, but he has not come." Suddenly, so it seemed to his weary eyes, the room was flooded with a strange light, and to the cobbler's astonished vision there appeared before him, one by one, the poor street sweeper, the sick mother and her child, and all the people whom he had aided during the day. Each smiled at him and said, "Have you not seen me? Did I not sit at your table?" Then they vanished from his view. At last, out of the silence, Father Martin heard again the gentle voice repeating the old familiar words, "Whosoever shall receive one such in my name receiveth me. For I was hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me." The Cobbler and His Guest by Leo Tolstoy. So yeah, it's very much about the joy of giving. Honestly didn't realize it as I was picking these out. I kind of just went with ones I liked, but sensing a common theme. It's very much about the joy of giving, about what Christmas should be about, honestly, in my opinion. So anyways, because I am the history horse, this is a history channel. I want to close out with some historical documents, actually, about a Christmas miracle. So what I'd like to talk about next, let me get them pulled up, is actually what I did the history video on yesterday. It was about the Christmas truce in 1914 in World War I. It was one of the most remarkable episodes of a really remarkable war. I guess remarkable is the term to use for it. Remarkable, horrible, terrible, so many different things. But the Christmas Day truce was a real thing that really happened. And it happened all over the Western Front and on the Eastern Front, too. It wasn't just limited to the British and the Germans. The French, the Russians, the Austrians, they all took part, at least in 1914. They all stopped for a day, at least a day. I don't want to say they all, actually. We have a few letters here, actually, that sort of disprove that it was a general truce. But yeah, all throughout the front, World War I, the first year of the war, everybody stopped for Christmas, and, well, in a lot of cases, they went out and they met in no man's land, and as the picture implies, there were soccer games, there were gift giving, there was carol singing, and all that different good stuff, and it's just truly it's a surreal thing in the middle of the war, because the day before and the day after, they were killing each other. But for one day at least, there was peace. So I'd like to read a few letters sent by soldiers who actually experienced the Christmas truce. So we're going to start off with a fairly well-known letter about it. It was written by General Walter Congreve of the British Army. So, here we go. Christmas Day, 1914. Darling dear, as I cannot be with you all, the next best thing is to write to you, for so I get closer. We've had a seasonable weather day, which means sharp frost and fog and never a smidge of sun. I went to the church with 2 of my battalions in an enormous factory room, and after lunch took down to the N. Staffords and my old trenches at Rue du Bois Mother's gifts of toffee, sweets, cigarettes, pencils, handkerchiefs, and writing paper. There I found an extraordinary state of affairs. This a.m. a German shouted out that they wanted a day's truce, and would one come out if he did. So very cautiously one of our men lifted himself above the parapet, and saw a German doing the same. Both got out, then more, and finally all day long in that particular place they've been walking about together all day, giving each other cigars and singing songs. Officers as well as men were out, and the German colonel himself was talking to one of our captains. My informant, one of the men, said he had a fine day of it, and had smoked a cigar with the best shot in the German army, then not more than 18. They say he's killed more of our men than any other 12 together, but I know now where he shoots from, and I hope we down him tomorrow. I hope devoutly they will. Next door, the 2 battalions opposite each other were shooting away all day, and so I hear it was further north. 1st RB playing football with the Germans opposite them, next regiments shooting each other. I was invited to go and see the Germans myself, but refrained as I thought they might not be able to resist a general. Frank Lyon came over this PM and brought me a notebook from John and the enclosed letter from Henry Wilson, to whom you can write your thanks. Tom Holland, looking very tall and gaunt, came to lunch with me yesterday. He was also at General Headquarters. He was just like his pleasant self. So that's the first letter by General Walter Congreve, and I can kind of tell the generals, in most cases, absolutely hated this Christmas truce for obvious reasons, and you can kind of tell that Congreve looks down on it a bit as well. An extraordinary state of affairs, and he kind of talks about how ridiculous it was. You have one regiment playing football with the Germans opposite them, and the next regiments were shooting each other, a mile up. So it was a very patchwork thing. It was by no means a general truce, but it happened. I think that makes it more remarkable, honestly, that it happened in so many different places on the front. So yes, that was General Walter Congreve's letter, and that's one of the more well-known ones. But we have three more. We have three more. So the next one is not a very well-known one. This is by Corporal Robert Renton of the Seaforth Highlanders. I never thought we would spend Christmas the way we did. We were in the trenches on Christmas Day. On Christmas Eve, the Germans in front of us started singing what appeared to be hymns. We were shouting for encores. Their trenches are only about 150 yards in front of us, and they kept the singing up all night. On Christmas Day, some of them started to shout across to us to come over for a drink. It started with one or two going over halfway and meeting the Germans between the two lines of trenches. Then it got that there was a big crowd of German and British all standing together, shaking hands and wishing each other a Merry Christmas. They were giving us cigars and cheroots to exchange for cigarettes, and some of them had bottles of whiskey. They seemed a decent crowd that was in front of us. They were all fairly well dressed, and the majority of them could speak broken English. Some of them could speak it as well as myself. They said they were not going to fire for 3 days. They kept their word, too. There was no rifle fire for 2 days after Christmas. There were 2 dead Frenchmen between our lines. We could never get out to bury them till that day. The Germans helped us to dig the grave. One of their officers held a service over the graves. It was a sight worth seeing and one not easily forgotten. Both Germans and British paying respect to the French dead. So that was Corporal Robert Renton of the Seaforth Highlanders. And yeah, just kind of really captures the surreal nature of it all. And yeah, Germans and British paying respect to the French dead, burying them. Really gets to the heart of the matter, I think. Christmas is beyond nationality, I suppose. Alright, but as I had said before, the truce was by no means general, so this is one who didn't really have that much of a truce. This is a letter by Corporal T.B. Watson of the 8th Royal Scots. I had a Merry Christmas in spite of those boys 300 yards over the way. We came in here to relieve the Englishmen for Christmas. They in turn will let us have New Year out. It is decent of General Censored to do this, as it suits both regiments just fine. On Christmas Day, the greatest thing out took place here. Somehow or other, a friendly feeling got up between the Germans and us, and so we both left our trenches unarmed and exchanged greetings about 300 yards apart. We were all standing in the open for about 2 hours, waving to each other and shouting, and not one shot was fired from either side. This took place in the forenoon. After dinner, we were firing and dodging as hard as ever. One could hardly believe that such a thing had taken place. We're getting hard frost today, December 27th, and it makes us busy to try and keep warm, but the trenches are cleaner, so we're better off that way. Wishing you a good New Year. So yeah, to the point, once again, that the Christmas truce was by no means general, and a lot of different regiments celebrated it in different ways. So kind of a weak celebration there. They just got out of their trenches, stayed 300 yards apart, kind of yelled their greetings at each other, and then they had their lunch and they went back to killing each other. just surreal, absolutely surreal. So anyways, we have one more letter left to read, and this one is the most well-known of all because it was actually published in the London newspapers about a week after the truce occurred. So this was the primary source that most people at the time were actually familiar with, and it's by Private Henry Williamson of the London Rifle Brigade writing home to his mom. December 26, 1914, Trenches. Dear Mother, I'm writing from the trenches. It is 11 o'clock in the morning. Dodging a bullet on a stomach full of holiday memories sounds just lovely, indeed. So, dear Mother, I'm writing from the trenches. It is 11 o'clock in the morning. Besides me is a coke fire. Opposite me, a dugout wet with straw in it. The ground is sloppy in the actual trench, but frozen elsewhere. In my mouth is a pipe presented by the Princess Mary. In the pipe is tobacco. Of course, you say. But wait. In the pipe is German tobacco. Ha, you say, from a prisoner or found in a captured trench. Oh dear, no. From a German soldier. Yes, a live German soldier from his own trench. Yesterday, the British and Germans met and shook hands in the ground between the trenches and exchanged souvenirs and shook hands. Yes, all day Christmas Day, and as I write. Marvelous, isn't it? Yes. This is only for about a mile or two on either side of us, so far as we know. It happened thuswise. On Christmas Eve, both armies sang carols and cheered, and there was very little firing. The Germans, in some places 80 yards away, called to our men to come and fetch a cigar, and our men told them to come to us. This went on for some time, neither fully trusting the other, until, after much promising to play the game, a bold Tommy crept out and stood between the trenches, and immediately a Saxon came out to meet him. They shook hands and laughed, and then 16 Germans came out. Thus the ice was broken. Our men are speaking to them now. They are Landstürmers or Landwehr, I think, and Saxons and Bavarians. No Prussians. Many are gentle-looking men in goatee beards and spectacles, and some are very big and arrogant-looking. I have some cigarettes which I shall keep, and a cigar which I have smoked. We had a burial service in the afternoon over the dead Germans who perished in the last attack that was repulsed against us. The Germans put for fatherland and freedom on the cross. They obviously think that their cause is a just one. If you get the Daily Mail of December 23rd and turn to the letter page, you will see an article entitled Snapshots from the Front, and in the second snapshot an account is given of what we with others have done, and the identical apparatus is mentioned. When you find a sentence or word blacked out and not initialed by me, it is the work of the censor. Many of the Germans here are or were waiters in England before the war. Thank Efford for his chocolate. Auntie Bell for the cigarettes. I've had an awful time with swollen feet and my toes are frostbitten now, but it's all in the day's work, and as is working all night at digging or etc. and sleeping in wet and mud. Where we are billeted, 8 of us in a cottage in a town which is shelled now and again, we have a good time. There's a family of Belgians here whose house has been destroyed, and the old mother, about 56 years old, is very jolly and resourceful as well as comical. So that was the most well-known letter about the Christmas truce in 1914 by Private Henry Williamson of the London Rifle Brigade. It's one of my favorite historical episodes, I think. Just really goes to show. I can't even put it into words. Honestly, I think it goes to show how different the world was before World War I, more than anything. Like, there's still there's honor, there's a sense of brotherhood, right? They're willing to put aside the hatred, the war for one day, and just enjoy their Christmas. And you see as the war goes on, 1915 there were hardly any Christmas truces. 1915 was, I believe, the bloodiest year of the war, so hardly any Christmas truces that year. Everyone's tired, everyone's worn down, the war is becoming increasingly bitter. You don't hear of anything past 1916. It's just too many dead people, the trenches just too horrible, and you can only live like an animal for so long before it starts to wear on your humanity, and this kind of thing doesn't really take place. So I think the Christmas truce is one of my favorite. Well, it's a great Christmas story. I think it really shows the spirit of Christmas in a truly remarkable situation. But I think it also kind of shows what the world was like before World War I, which I still maintain is kind of the pivotal event in modern history. There's a hard division between the world pre-World War I and post-World War I, and I'm not sure in a lot of cases that it was necessarily an improvement, because pre-World War I world, this kind of thing could happen. Post-World War I, absolutely not. So yeah, that's 4 letters about the Christmas truce. Very true story, 100%. Actually occurred in Christmas 1914. But yep. Dodging bullets on a stomach full of holiday MREs. Yep. And hanging out down in the mud and the snow while you're waiting to dodge those bullets. What a fantastic war. So that's all I've got. That's all I've got when it comes to Christmas stories. Thank you so much for joining me. I had a lot of fun. I looked and looked for a decent Christmas track to back this, and I couldn't find one that was free. So sorry about the normal BGM. I tried to find something Christmassy, couldn't. But I hope you enjoyed all the same. Those were some of my favorites. So we heard The Gift of the Magi, we heard How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and we heard The Cobbler and His Guest. And then some letters from the Christmas truce of World War I. Hope you enjoyed. We're going to switch up now. Actually going to go to the intro page for one moment while I get things set up. Or just go to the waiting page. But yeah, we're going to switch over now, and we're going to finish up Cthulhu Saves Christmas. I think we have one dungeon left to do. God, I hope this is the last boss. I assume so. But yeah, we're going to finish it up. Shouldn't take more than an hour. If you're going to leave now, thank you so much. I hope you have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will be... I'm gonna be streaming pretty lightly in the upcoming week. Might just be one, and then the plan is hopefully to finally do the history presentation on Friday. So gonna work towards that. I think I can have it ready, especially if I'm streaming lightly, and I don't have any work to do since well, the schools are all on vacation. So yeah, look forward to that. Hoping to do the history presentation on Friday. It's going to be about the Peasants of Languedoc, which is a fantastic book by Emmanuel Llerose, where he does a brand new type of history for his time. So it's going to be about the Peasants of Languedoc. It's going to be talking about how a peasant lived in the late medieval, early modern era, and also kind of talking about the art of writing history. So if that sounds interesting to you, please do join me. I believe that's going to be on Friday, and then I will probably stream, one of the old standbys one of these days. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday would be my guess. I'll do Graveyard Keeper or maybe Valheim. So I hope you can join me for that. In a minute, I'm going to switch over to Cthulhu Saves Christmas, so if you're leaving now, Merry Christmas. And I'll be back in just one moment. Alright, let's see. Hey, okay. Alright, woo. Let me know if the game audio is too loud. This was a pain in the ass to balance last time too, if I recall. But yeah, we had left off with just a little more left to do in Cthulhu Saves Christmas. We had defeated the 7 members of the League of Christmas Evil and had been confronted by the, not-so-secret 8th member of the League of Christmas Evil, none other than the Ghost of Christmas Future, from the Dickens story, A Christmas Carol. And, he was worried about his job security, because if Cthulhu Saves Christmas, if Santa's allowed to do his work, then, people will be filled with Christmas cheer. There will be less Scrooges by the year, and, what will the Ghost of Christmas Future do then, if there are no Scrooges to save from their humbug? So that's where we were, I think. So, the Ghost of Christmas Future had taken us into the future and shown us the future that he was going to create. One without Christmas, where everyone's a Scrooge. And also filled with some really, really difficult battles. Just look at the damage they put out. And they put out status effects, too. Let's see. Oh, you're new? Apocalypse Mage. Some people just want to watch the world burn again. Let's see. He's weak to physical damage, so... yeah, I think we probably target him. Yeah, we'll build up some chicken power. Ooh. Alright, all stun, self-stun. You know, that's probably worth a shot. Nice. Alright, yeah, I probably just want to put out the damage. 'Cause let's see. I think... Oh... Since we have no way to get her up, I think we heal Crystal here. Oh, glad we did! That would have killed her otherwise. Damn. Okay, the goo monster puts out a lot of damage here. The dark. Watch out for the silent E. Alright. I still do think the Apocalypse Mage is still the, top target. Yeah, let's do that. Start working on the dark. Then I think... Yeah, we can charm the mage, have him blow them up. Beautiful. Yeah. Just have Crystal heal. God, they are nasty. Sure. Throw the tentacles out, kill the mage. I think next we probably want to drive the dark insane. Buff Cthulhu's damage here. Oh yeah, throw out that sick hurricane damage. Ouch. Cool. Drive the dark insane. Ooh. That's not good. That's not good. Oh, that's really not good. Alright, we'll do that. See, yeah, but the taunt means they're all gonna target Crystal. Alright. Ooh, baby. Ugh. Oh, okay. That was clutch. That was clutch as fuck. Get him charmed. Beautiful. Get vulnerable on him. Have him hit himself. And goodbye. Right. Oh, a revive. Legit. Too bad Crystal's the one who's usually dying. Mighty Peck, 125% physical damage chicken. Legit, legit. Okay, I think we're gonna put both of those skills on their taskbars. Let's see. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I think we're just gonna go full heals on Crystal. Haven't really ever used Cure. Probably going to regret taking that off of her hotbar, but we'll see. That's what the save function is for, I suppose. Ooh, Soylent! So poisonous. Just insanely poisonous. Well, Cthulhu is a pretty toxic individual himself. Build up that chicken power. Let's see. Probably best to drive the mage insane. I think he does the most damage output. That is a considerable buff to her HP. That's legit. Sure, we'll drive the toxic waste insane too. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Anyone weak to fire? Nobody's weak to fire. Wow. Sure. The rudest of sandstorms. Oh, of course you stun Crystal right when I actually want her to do a group heal. Do you have an AoE? No. Nobody has a good AoE. Alright, fine. Mighty Peck. Oh wow, that is a Mighty Peck. Good job, Cluck Cluck. This is it, the grand finale. Everything's been leading up to this moment. Isn't this short for an RPG? Shouldn't we still have 15 more dungeons to go? Please no. Nobody's got time for that damage these days. Just be glad that you got a new game at all. The narrator is right. Why these days, kids don't even bother actually playing video games. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy watching the stream of a better video game on my phone. Back in my day, video games were 2 sticks and a ball in the snow, and we liked it. If my next game isn't at least 1,000 hours, I don't know what I'll do, but you'd better watch out. Oh, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga-chan. Nasty. Absolutely nasty. Yeah, probably best to just blow them up as quickly as possible. At least get the Dark dead. Let's see. Yeah. Just gonna throw some damage out on the Dark and or not the Dark, the Neutralizer. The Darks are the goo guys. Cool. Should kill it. Oh, man. Oh, the poison will kill it next turn. Bird up! Oh, nice. Yeah, probably want to start working on this guy. Not who I wanted to target. Thank you, Belsnickel. Mighty Peck. Man, that is just an insane amount of damage. Oh, please don't kill Crystal. Oh boy. Think we can probably kill it? Yeah, nice. Alright, probably doesn't have enough chicken power to drive anyone, or to charm anyone right now. Well, Hey, you leave Baba Yaga alone. Yeah, delete yourself, buddy. Just delete yourself. Cool. I think... we did not go this way. You got a Annihilator. This item deals heavy dark damage to all enemies. Legit. Probably better than the bomb. 150% dark damage to all. Yeah, definitely. Ooh. Oh, I don't like this one at all. Here's hoping, yes, Spellsnickle has the party defense up. Inferno. Oh, baby. Yeah, I mean, I gotta. Who we driving insane? I think this guy. Yeah. I doubt we're gonna be able to charm him. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll skip the party regen here. Well, let's try out the Annihilator, how about? Not bad at all. Get his ass. Get his ass. Alright, what else we got? Cool. Yeah, that combination looked a lot more intimidating than it was. Honestly, the mages aren't too bad. The amount of damage they put out is manageable. Especially if we can get regen on the party. That's legit. That's something we're gonna have to strive for. Let's see. Yeah, might as well give everyone a hyperbar. Alright, what you got, Crystal? What you got? Sure, we'll allow everyone to nuke on the next turn. Oh no! Oh, they're all charmed! Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, get regen on the party. Oh, that's so good. That combo is so strong. Cthulhu drives everyone insane, and then Belsnickel's got the AoE charm. That is so strong. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Nice. So I think we're probably trending towards level 30, maybe? Or level 40, sorry. Oh. Slap Sense removes Insane. Nice. I don't want to remove Insane, though. Well, that was an anticlimax. Guess I should be grateful when it gives me those ones with just a single monster. Whoa, okay. Getting a little wild here. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, this is going to be a very large damage output here in a very short amount of time. And a ton of help too. Alright. So we do have the means to give the party regen. We will definitely be using that. Would you stop hitting Crystal? Alright, Crystal. Physician, heal thyself. Why? Why do they hate Crystal so much? I mean, I know why I hate Crystal, but like these guys haven't even met her. Damn it. Damn it! Alright, she's not gonna survive the next turn unless we heal. Oh boy. Please tell me we have something good here. Nothing good on Bellsnickle, so we will heal Crystal. And Baba can heal herself. Much damage. Oh, man. Crap, we lost the regen. Alright, why do you hurt so much? Alright, Woo! He's the Annihilator here. That's helpful. Very, very nice. Alright, drive you insane, and drive you into the ground. Chaos Strike, 100% physical damage, 25% more damage per spent ability. Interesting. 100% physical damage, 2 times damage to enraged. Interesting. Got an Apocalypse Cloak. This accessory for Crystal gives her the Unstoppable buff and increases Desperate Power. Interesting. Oh yeah, that's pretty strong stats there. But no resists. Ah, the other cloak didn't have any resist. Desperate plus 50% damage. Cool. Alright. Yeah. Haven't driven anyone insane yet, which is kind of unfortunate. Alright, let's do that now. So we'll try to charm him and get him to AoE the rest of their group. Get him, Bubba! Yeah. Oh, that hurricane is so good. Having a little bit of trouble there, Crystal? He should die to poison. Whew. That one got a little bit ugly. So wait, was this the right way? Guess we'll find out in a few moments. Huh. Wonder if that'll increase the effect of the regen. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, I think we try and kill the neutralizer here. Oh yeah, I think that did make the regen stronger that she put out, so that's awesome. Whew. Might as well. Yikes. Sure, we'll take that. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably worth it. I think we got a pretty good party comp here. It's, I don't know. Not having any damaging abilities on Crystal is maybe not the smartest thing, but just the healing is so good. Chico. Nice. Oh, okay. So, like, everything kind of branches to go. Oh, dear lord. Okay, DPS race. DPS race and hope they don't pick on any one character over much. Start with the one on the left, I guess. Wow. Yep, thinking we just gotta burn. You leave Baba Yaga-chan alone. Whatever. It'll die on its next turn. Yeah, just give yourself regen. Hit him with the hurricane. Beautiful. Nice. We've been here already? Yeah, we've been here already. I got all turned around. I'll take it. We take those, we take those. Nice. Okay, so those may just kind of have weak charm resist. That is really good to know. Also, to no one's great surprise, Baba Yaga's charm is much stronger than Crystal's. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Alright, I think we're gonna... These fights seemed a lot more intimidating at the start, but I think we're getting the hang of it, so... We have, what, like 3 more to go? So we will be taking down the Ghost of Christmas Future here very soon. Very soon in the future. That is not the one I wanted to target, but okay. Should kill, yeah. Cool. Alright, so yeah, we definitely went in a circle here. So we go up through this way. I think this all leads to the same place. Got the big buffs. Alright, let's see. Yeah, probably just do that. You got nothing. Yeah, got nothing. Sure. Goodbye. Okay, that appears to be the way forward, actually. Let's investigate. Yeah, here we go. Got an Eldritch Sword. This weapon for Cthulhu deals extra damage to insane enemies. Nice. Alright. So, 31, 38, 105, 105, 125. Okay, so lose out. Yeah, lose out on some HP, but get some extra healing power. It's pretty strong. Alright, blow these suckers up. What do we want to do here? Just keep working on the neutralizer in the dark to prevent Crystal from dying. Ooh, please don't kill Baba Yaga. Oh, you bitch. Alright, okay, so that's charmed. Yeah. Yeah, that was the play. That was the play. Yeah. Unleash the mighty power of the cock. Oh no. I think Cluck Cluck is a girl, actually. Kinda looks more like a hen. Get him out of there. Confiscate his coat. Alright, so that'll do it for the battles. I don't think we're gonna grind up to 40. I feel confident that we can handle the Ghost of Christmas Future. Only pain in his future. A Caduceus Wand. Improves her regen capabilities. Regen abilities plus 50. The damage is pretty the stats are pretty insane. Yeah. I think we might have to run with that. It sucks not being able to reuse the charm skill, but yeah, that's just way too strong. Tornado Pestle. Weapon for Baba Booster. Ooh, I'm interested in this. Immune to ailments, though. 9100, 5120. Yeah. The stats are just way too good. Uh-huh. It's all kind of a loop here. Alright. Very, very cool level design. I like the giant bones just sticking out of the ground. That was a nice aspect of the Mario Ludes level, too. Metal Whip. Weapon for Belsnickel boosts its physical power. I am interested. Oh yeah, I am very interested. Caduceus robe. Armor for crystal. Reuse gentle rain. That's the party heal. Yes, please. Oh yeah. Yes, please. Hooray! Crystal won't be useless. So that tells me they are going to be putting out some pretty insane damage in this final fight. Some insane group damage. Got a cosmic dress. This armor for Baba boosts the power of her insanity ability. She doesn't really use any insanity abilities, but let's see. I mean, the stats are fantastic. Yeah. Chicken power is nice to have, but those stats are hard to argue with. Any chests here? No. Got a gold coat. Armor for Belsnickel boosts XP rewards. Interesting. It's 165 and 15 all. Yep. Whoops. Wrong button. You made it. How expected. Now it's time to end it. Cthulhu performs a mighty attack and misses. What happened? This game doesn't have accuracy checks. I can see every attack you make before you make it. With that knowledge, it is a simple matter to ensure that I'm elsewhere. Cthulhu performs another mighty attack and misses. How am I supposed to kill you if I can't hit you? You can't. Face it. I'm better than you. I'll never face that. Cthulhu reigns supreme even when he doesn't. Then die. Ah! No, we can't let it end like this. How can we defeat something that knows what we're going to do before we do it? What's the plan, boss? I don't have one. Perhaps I can help. Narrator, you stay out of this. I've always been a fan of Christmas presents, and I've been especially good this year. Take that. The ghost of Christmas future is suddenly beset with visions of every possible future simultaneously. Too much information! Make it stop! Now's your chance. Fight while its powers of prediction are disabled. This is it, our final chance to shine. League of Christmas Evil members, come to me! I summon thee from the depths of the beyond. Are we having a boss rush? Oh, wow! Wow. Yep. Powerful AoE damage. Man, okay. I think probably best to just buff Crystal's HP. Okay, yeah. That cat needs to die ASAP. Stun you, so you can't pull that bullshit anymore. So the cat should die on its next turn. Ouch. But heavy fizz damage. That sounds good to me. Get that poison off. And of course the Mouse King will reapply it. Make sure Jack Frost dies here. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Yeah, we just need the heal. All right. All right, moving right along, moving right along. Buff Cthulhu's damage here. Alright. Now it's time to just burn them. Alright, buddy. Yeah. Just throw out the damage. Throw out the damage. Oh yeah, alright. Very nice. Oh, that is a great deal of XP. Sub-Zero. 160% ice damage, double damage, and stay alive if HP is negative. Nice. We won. Strike that. I won. How could I have been so blind? By the power of your blows, I've seen the error of my ways. Ah, yes, yes. Smack some sense into you. Yay! It's a super happy ending. I now see clearly that this future was never meant to be. Let me return you to your own original time. I will no longer tamper with the flow of time for my own purposes. Cthulhu and his party are returned to December 24th, and a new day begins. It is now Christmas! Cthulhu finds a gorgeously wrapped present. It looks like Santa has been here. Cthulhu tears off the wrapping paper. Inside is a small letter. Thank you for all your help. Come see me and you'll get what you most desire. Oh boy, I'm so excited! But first, you'd better check in on some of the wonderful relationships you developed over the course of the game. Do I have to? Cthulhu decides to visit Crystal. I can't believe we actually did it. I know I said I believed in you, but I'm not sure I ever really did. Yes, you're the star, but you're also a hideous monster who wants to destroy everything. You can see I would have my doubts. But you rescued my grandfather and saved Christmas, and I hope you learned something along the way. I can assure you that I learned absolutely nothing. Yeah, my bad, Cthulhu! Screw this. Screw learning things. How dare you, Crystal? I would expect nothing less from you, and yet methinks the Ancient One doth protest too much. I don't know if we'll meet again after today. Grandfather is already planning on dimensionally shifting our city beyond your reach. Just don't forget us when you get your powers back, okay? Cthulhu decides to— Yes! She stole all the presents! Hey boss, check out the sweet haul I got this year. Baba's chicken-legged hut is chock full of presents. I haven't even had enough time to open them all yet. That's how many there are. And Santa didn't leave out Cluck Cluck. So many cute outfits to dress up in. I wonder if Santa's planning on sending me this many presents every year? Probably not. Wouldn't count on it, Baba Yaga. If not, I'm gonna have a little talk with the big man, if you know what I mean. Cthulhu decides to visit Belsnickel. A visitor? How nice. Oh, it's just you, Cthulhu. I usually try to have a low-key Christmas, and thanks to Santa being reinstated, I can do just that. I know you don't appreciate all of our strange traditions, but keep an open mind. Who knows? Maybe you could celebrate Christmas in Rylea this year. Come up with your own traditions. And Cthulhu visits the post office. Get away from me! Santa Claus showed up and gave me the greatest gift of all, my sanity! To think that I let my brain get sucked dry by your insane presence. I shudder to think of what you did to me. Now leave before I make you. I don't think you could make me. Having more important matters to attend to, Cthulhu decides to leave the post office. Cthulhu decides to go see Santa Claus. Ho ho ho! I was wondering when you'd show up, Cthulhu. Power! Gimme, gimme, gimme! I was worried at first about granting your wish, but my granddaughter insists it's for the best. Something about preserving the timeline between prequel and main game. Ah, kids these days with their time paradoxes. Now promise me that you'll only use these powers for good. I promise. You just lied, didn't you? Totally. Very well. A promise is a promise. Here are your Wait! Baba, what are you doing here? Don't do this! Just because our stories make us out to be evil doesn't mean we have to become villains. Haven't you had more fun in this game than you ever did asleep in Rylea? It has been fun, but I cannot deny my destiny. Yes, you can! You can choose who you will become. No one else can do it. Oh, Baba. That's so cute. You're totally not going to make a difference, though. Let him go. What? It'll all turn out for the best in the end. Trust me, I've seen the next game. Sometimes a temporary setback is necessary for ultimate victory. Trust us. Enough preaching. It's time to end this. Cthulhu finds himself back in Rylea. My power! It's all coming back! Time to destroy the world! The end. The story continues in Cthulhu Saves the World. What do you mean, saves the world? Saves it from existing, I should hope. Cthulhu, you frickin' softy. If you saved the world after all that big talk about destroying it, I shall be displeased. Do you want to replay the game? Yes, start New Game Plus or no? We could check out New Game Plus, I guess. My power is gone again? Where is it? What's going on? This looks like the place we first met. Yay! Boss, you said you were going to leave us, but you didn't. I don't believe I've ever been here before in my journeys. Oh no, this can't be. You wouldn't. What's going on? You monster! You didn't! I did. The dreaded New Game Plus. Exactly. What's that? It's where those ingrate players decide they want to keep playing even though the game is over. Wasn't it enough that you got to control me, the greatest thing of all time, even if it was but a brief time? But no, you couldn't let go and let the game take its natural course. You had to have more. You disgust me. Yes, you, the one in front of the screen. I'm talking to you. Moi? Are you calling moi a dipshit? Haven't we had enough fun? Do you really want to play through the same content over and over? Why don't you just put down the controller, close the game, and go play something else? Aren't you addicted to a gas game that you could be playing now instead? Get back on that treadmill. Fine. If you're going to be that way, we'll play the game again, but I won't enjoy it. Cthulhu's indignation manifests itself as a new weapon, the Insanity Sword. In New Game Plus mode, you can replay the game with a few differences. There's also a new harder difficulty. Check it out, or don't. Fair enough, and we get to keep our party with us. Awesome. So that was Cthulhu Saves Christmas. In the end, the Eldritch Horror saved Santa Claus, saved our Christmas, and it was all merry and bright. And insane. Don't forget the insanity. Always with the insanity. So yeah, that was Cthulhu Saves Christmas. Glad I got this finished before Christmas was over. And thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you being here, or you watching the VOD, whatever you might be doing. So yeah, hope you have a great rest of your Christmas. From me to you, seriously. You guys, you watching now, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the VOD, you're what I'm most thankful for, and you're what I'm most looking forward to in the coming year. So, hope you can say the same. Well, maybe you're not looking forward to me the most, but hopefully you're looking forward to seeing what I get up to in 2023, and I'm looking forward to getting up to some silly horsey shit in 2023. We'll see. I have some good ideas already. So yeah, hope you'll stick around with me. A Merry Christmas to everyone. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your year. A Happy New Year. I'll see you again sometime next week, probably either Tuesday or Wednesday. And then on Friday, got that history presentation coming up, so I hope you can join me for that. Merry Christmas to everyone. And until next time, Amiki, I must bid you wale. Please take very good care of yourself, and I will see you again real soon. Later, dudes!